What's happening, Blue Jays fans? Welcome to Jays Central, your home for everything Toronto baseball. We've got a massive breakdown of this wild offseason ahead, and trust me, you're going to want to stick around for all of it. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button right now. It helps us bring you more Blue Jays content every single day. And drop a comment below telling me what you think about these offseason moves. Are we World Series bound, or do we still have work to do? Let's get into it. Last season was absolutely electric. The Blue Jays marched all the way to Game 7 of the World Series, giving us one of the most thrilling postseason runs in franchise history. The energy was unmatched, the performances were clutch, and even though we fell just short of the championship, it proved something crucial. This team has what it takes to compete at the highest level. That deep playoff run set the tone for what management needed to accomplish this offseason. And let me tell you, they came out swinging. The front office knew they had a championship window wide open, and they attacked free agency with serious aggression. The first major move? Landing Dylan Cease on a 7-year, $210 million contract. Let's break down what this means for the organization. Cease is an absolute ace, the kind of pitcher who can dominate lineups and give you a legitimate chance to win every 5 days. This wasn't just about adding talent. It was about making a statement to the rest of the league that Toronto is all in on winning now. Think about what Cease brings to the rotation. We're talking about a guy with elite strikeout stuff, the ability to eat innings, and playoff experience. He's been one of the most consistent pitchers in baseball over the past few seasons, and now he's wearing a Blue Jays uniform. That's the kind of addition that changes the entire complexion of a pitching staff. If you're excited about this signing, smash that like button and let me know in the comments what you think Cease win total will be this season. But Toronto wasn't done. Not even close. The organization followed up the Cease signing by bringing in Japanese sensation Kazuma Okamoto on a 4-year, $60 million deal. Now, if you're not familiar with Okamoto, let me educate you real quick. This guy has been demolishing baseballs in Japan's Nippon Professional Baseball League for years. We're talking about a power hitter with legitimate middle-of-the-order potential. He's got the kind of bat that can change games in a single swing. Adding Okamoto gives the Blue Jays lineup another dangerous weapon. Think about the pressure that puts on opposing pitchers when they're looking at a batting order stacked with talent from top to bottom. You can't pitch around guys anymore because there's another threat right behind them. That depth is what separates contenders from pretenders, and Toronto just got significantly deeper. Drop a comment right now and tell me where you think Okamoto should hit in the lineup. Is he a cleanup hitter, or do you see him fitting elsewhere? Now, it wasn't all good news this offseason. Losing Bo Bichette to the New York Mets in free agency was a tough pill to swallow. Bichette has been the face of this franchise for years, a fan favorite who gave everything he had on the field. Watching him sign with a division rival stings. There's no sugarcoating that. The shortstop position was a strength, and now there's a significant hole that needs addressing. But here's the thing. Championship teams find ways to overcome these losses, and Toronto has the resources and talent to do exactly that. The Blue Jays didn't stop after landing Cease and Okamoto. They continued strengthening the pitching staff by adding Tyler Rogers on a 3-year, $37 million contract. Rogers brings veteran experience and stability to the bullpen. He's the kind of reliever who can get you those crucial outs in the 7th and 8th innings, setting up the closer for the 9th. Bullpen depth wins championships, folks. We've seen it time and time again. Teams that can shorten games to 6 or 7 innings because they have elite relief pitching are the ones hoisting trophies in November. Then came another pitching addition, Cody Ponce on a 3-year, $30 million deal. Ponce gives Toronto even more options on the mound. Whether he's starting, coming out of the pen, or providing long relief, having that versatility is invaluable over a 162-game season. Injuries happen, fatigue sets in, and having quality depth means you're never scrambling to fill holes. Before we move on, hit that like button if you appreciate how the front office has prioritized pitching this offseason. So where does that leave us right now? The Blue Jays have made significant improvements, particularly on the pitching side. The rotation looks formidable with Cease leading the way, and the bullpen has been fortified with proven arms. The lineup, even without Bichette, still has plenty of firepower with Okamoto joining the mix. But is this team finished making moves, or is there more to come? That's what we need to discuss, and that's where things get really interesting. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on whether Toronto should make another splash or stand pat with what they have. Welcome back to Jays Central. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We're deep diving into the Blue Jays offseason, and right now we need to talk about potential trades that could still happen before spring training. If you're enjoying this breakdown, show some love with a like. It seriously helps the channel grow. And keep those comments coming because I want to hear what you think about these possibilities. Even though the major free agency period has slowed down considerably, there's still opportunity for Toronto to improve the roster through trades. One name that keeps popping up in discussions is Jojo Romero, a left-handed reliever currently with the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, before you ask why the Blue Jays would target another relief pitcher after already adding Rogers and Ponce, let me explain the value proposition here. Romero isn't just any bullpen arm. He's an elite southpaw who posted exceptional numbers last season. During the 2025 campaign, he appeared in 65 games for St. Louis, compiled a 4-6 record with a 2.07 ERA. Let that sink in for a second. A 2.07 ERA over 65 appearances is borderline dominant. His whip sat at 1.25, demonstrating excellent control and the ability to limit base runners. He recorded 8 saves, 24 holds, and only 1 blown save all season. Those are closer quality numbers from a guy who's been primarily used as a setup man. Why would this matter for Toronto? Simple, you can never have too much quality pitching, especially in the bullpen. October baseball is won and lost by relief pitchers. We've watched countless playoff series turn on a single bullpen meltdown. Having multiple elite options means you can play matchups, keep arms fresh, and never find yourself in a situation where you're relying on your 5th or 6th best reliever in a crucial moment. Comment below if you think the Blue Jays should pursue Romero or if you'd rather see them address other needs. The fact that Romero is left-handed adds another layer of value. Left-handed power arms are premium assets in today's game. Being able to neutralize left-handed hitters in critical spots gives managers flexibility they wouldn't otherwise have. Think about those tight playoff games where you need to get one specific hitter out. Having a weapon like Romero available could be the difference between advancing and going home. If you agree that elite bullpen arms are worth pursuing, give this video a like right now. Now, would St. Louis actually trade Romero? That's the million-dollar question. The Cardinals aren't necessarily in full rebuild mode, but they're also not positioned as World Series favorites. If Toronto came calling with the right package, maybe a couple of mid-level prospects or a major league-ready player who fits a need, there's a scenario where this deal makes sense for both sides. Baseball is a business, and front offices are always evaluating whether they can get better through trades. Drop a comment and tell me what you think Toronto should offer for Romero. One thing to consider is Romero's age and contract situation. At 29 years old, he's in his prime without being so old that decline becomes a concern. He's under team control, which means acquiring him isn't just a rental situation. This could be a multi-year addition who helps both in 2026 and beyond. That kind of value is rare in the trade market, especially for relievers who often come with significant question marks. Before we continue, make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Blue Jays content. Beyond Romero, there are other scenarios Toronto could explore. The trade market for position players remains active, particularly for teams looking to address specific needs. With the shortstop position now open after Bichette's departure, could the Blue Jays target someone through trade rather than free agency? It's possible, though finding impact players via trade this late in the offseason becomes increasingly difficult. Most teams have solidified their rosters and aren't eager to move key pieces. What about international free agents or minor league depth additions? These aren't the splashy headlines that grab attention, but building organizational depth is crucial for sustained success. When injuries inevitably hit during the season, having quality players ready to step up from AAA can make or break a campaign. Smart front offices are always looking for these under-the-radar moves that might seem insignificant in February but become critical in July. Here's what I want you to think about. Is this Blue Jays roster, as currently constructed, good enough to win the World Series? They've added significant pitching with Cease, Rogers, and Ponce. They've boosted the lineup with Okamoto, but they've also lost Bichette, which creates both a void and an opportunity. Championship rosters often have one or two unexpected heroes who emerge during the season. Maybe it's a young player who breaks out, or a veteran who rediscovers his form. Part of building a winner is creating an environment where those stories can happen. Let me know in the comments if you believe this roster can win at all, or if more moves are necessary. We're in the home stretch of this breakdown, Jays Central Faithful. If you've made it this far, you're clearly invested in Blue Jays baseball, and I appreciate you being here. Show some love with a like, and make sure you comment below with your win prediction for this season. Let's talk about expectations, projections, and what this team needs to do to get back to the World Series and finish the job this time. Jim Bowden from The Athletic recently released his offseason grades for every team, and he gave Toronto's winter an A rating. That's significant coming from someone as respected as Bowden, who has decades of experience as a general manager and baseball analyst. When a credible voice looks at what the Blue Jays accomplished and says they nailed it, that should give fans confidence. But grades don't win games. Execution does. Hit that like button if you agree that Toronto's offseason deserves high marks. Bowden didn't stop at the grade. He went further and predicted that the Blue Jays would win the American League East in 2026. Now that's a bold call, especially considering the competition in that division. But it's not baseless. Look at the roster top to bottom, and you see a team with legitimate strengths across the board. The starting rotation has genuine ace-level talent. The bullpen has been significantly upgraded with multiple reliable arms. The lineup, even with Bichette's departure, features dangerous hitters who can change games. Winning the division would be huge for multiple reasons. First, it guarantees a playoff spot and avoids the uncertainty of wild card games. Second, it means home field advantage through at least the division series, which can be massive when you're trying to advance deep into October. Third, it sends a psychological message to the rest of the league that Toronto is the team to beat in the AL East. Momentum matters in baseball, and establishing yourself as division champions creates positive energy heading into the playoffs. Comment below if you think the Blue Jays will win the division or if another team will take it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the fact that Toronto missed out on Kyle Tucker. There were rumors all offseason about the Blue Jays making a run at Tucker, one of the best all-around players in baseball. When those talks fell through, it was disappointing. Tucker would have been a perfect fit, giving the lineup another elite bat and filling the void left by Bichette. But sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't make. If the asking price was too high or if Tucker's contract demands didn't align with Toronto's long-term plans, walking away was the right decision. Championship teams are built on smart, sustainable decisions. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of big names and blockbuster deals, but the most successful organizations are the ones who maintain discipline. They don't overpay just to make a splash. They don't mortgage the future for a short-term fix. They build rosters that can compete year after year, not just for one season. If you appreciate front offices that make smart, long-term decisions, give this video a like right now. So what should fans expect when spring training starts? First, expect competition for roster spots. With new additions and returning players all vying for playing time, there will be battles throughout camp. That competition breeds excellence. When players know their spot isn't guaranteed, they push harder, prepare better, and come ready to prove themselves every single day. Second, expect the coaching staff to experiment with different lineup configurations. Finding the optimal batting order takes time, and spring training is when that work happens. Third, expect the young players to get opportunities to show what they can do. Toronto has some interesting prospects in the system who could force their way onto the major league roster with strong performances. Baseball is beautiful because it rewards merit. A 22-year-old can outplay a veteran and win a job. That keeps rosters fresh and prevents complacency. Drop a comment if there's a specific prospect you're excited to watch this spring. Looking at the complete American League landscape, where do the Blue Jays rank? They're certainly in the upper tier of contenders. The roster has fewer question marks than in previous years thanks to the pitching additions. The lineup has power and depth. The defense should be solid. But projections only matter if they translate to wins on the field. Baseball is unpredictable. That's what makes it great. The team that looks unbeatable on paper might struggle with injuries. The underdog that nobody expects could get hot at the right time and make a run. Here's my challenge to you. Before this video ends, I want you to comment with your exact win total prediction for the Blue Jays in 2026. Don't just say they'll be good or they'll make the playoffs. Give me a number. How many games do you think this roster wins over a full season? And while you're at it, smash that like button because we're almost at our goal for this video. The bottom line is this. The Blue Jays have positioned themselves to compete for a championship. They've added impact players. They've addressed needs. They've kept the core together aside from Bichette. Now it comes down to health, performance, and a bit of luck. That's baseball. You can have the best roster in the league and still fall short if things don't break your way. But you can also catch fire at the right moment and ride that wave all the way to a championship. Toronto gave us an incredible run last October. This year, the goal is to finish what they started. Thanks for watching Jays Central. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like this video, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more Blue Jays content all season long. Let's go Blue Jays!